What's up, pet people? My name is Lexia and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're going to be talking about this guy here right behind me, and that will be my new custom cages hybrid enclosure. Basically, I'm going to tell you guys how the shipping went, how it arrived. I have pictures for you. I have pictures of us building it, and I say us because I did need my husband to help build it. We'll get into that whenever I start talking about it. And I'm going to show you little clips of putting it together and how easy and wonderful it is to build these enclosures. And then I'm going to kind of walk you guys through what I'll be doing with the enclosure and just an overall review of this absolutely awesome masterpiece that's behind me. In case you guys can't tell, I'm already so in love with it, but I'm going to go more into detail with that in a minute. So yeah, if you're interested, please keep watching. So before getting into all of the details about the enclosure, I just want to give a huge shout out to Custom Cages. They're an absolutely amazing company who I have loved getting products from. I have purchased multiple products from them before, and this is just another great enclosure to have that I will be talking about with you guys today. They helped me so much with this. It's an absolutely beautiful and amazing enclosure, and it turned out way better and even more majestic than I expected. As you will see in a little bit, it's massive. Like, this is one of the 4 enclosure pieces in it, and I just am so happy with it. I will be linking Custom Cages down in the description box below, and I will be linking the exact enclosure that I custom made and designed this one with them off of. I used that enclosure that's going to be linked down below as the base, and then I changed obviously the color, I changed the type of panels on it, and I changed the enclosure that's above this one from a 4-foot enclosure to 2x2 enclosures. And like I said, I'll be going into that in a little bit, but they did such an amazing job. I love them so much, and I stand by Custom Cages with pretty much everything I believe in, because they're just a great company that focuses on good quality enclosures for your animals. So now that I said that, we're gonna get right into the description and talking about the shipping and unboxing. So starting off talking about shipping and packaging, Custom Cages always does a really good job shipping all of their products. They make sure everything arrives in a timely manner and really safely. This time everything arrived a lot quicker than normal. I was very happy with it. To give you to show you guys what my shipping was like, I ordered and finished signing all the paperwork for the enclosure and paid for what I need to pay for on the enclosure on March 17th. On March 23rd, I got an email from Custom Cages that they had shipped my enclosure along with tracking number and everything like that. It was 9 different pieces, 9 different boxes, a lot more than 9 pieces, but it was 9 boxes, and they were shipped through FedEx. Now, everything did arrive within a really good time frame. It was 12 days from start to finish of when I signed the paperwork to whenever all of my boxes arrived. But FedEx had some problems, not anything that bothered me severely. All of my packages did arrive and nothing was missing and everything was fine. But I had 2 packages arrive on the 27th, I had 4 boxes arrive on the 28th, and then the last 3 boxes arrived on the 29th. Once again, this wasn't a huge issue. It was purely a FedEx thing, nothing to do with Custom Cages, because they did ship them all at the same time, and I could track where they were. There was a certain point, I think on the 25th, where the boxes seemed to have gotten separated. So that I completely put on FedEx, not Custom Cages, but everything did arrive. Again, 12 days start to finish. That's a really good shipping time for an enclosure of this size, or for anything of this size in general. I was very happy with that, and definitely recommend purchasing from them due to the fast shipping times as well as the amazing packaging they have. Nothing ends up being damaged, or if it does end up damaged, they say there's a little disclaimer that you can call them and request new pieces and things like that, but nothing of mine that I've gotten from them has ever been damaged. As you can see on the pictures right somewhere, I'm going to put them up here somewhere, but as you can see in the images, they had the boxes, and then there was some type of paper. I don't know if it was newspaper. It kind of looked like packing slips. like non-filled out packing slips, but there were packing slips and paper of some type on either side of all of the pieces of metal and the long boxes, and then the other boxes just had the pieces of cardboard, and they all had wrappings and coverings to ensure there was no scratching on any of the aluminum panels or on any of the plexiglass or anything like that. Everything arrived so nicely and just packaged beautifully as always, and nothing was damaged, so I was very happy with that as well. Moving on from the shipping and packaging, as you could see, everything was in different boxes, and all of the boxes had similar size and similar type parts in it, so everything was super easy to find. Box number 4 had all of the little parts like the screws, nails, not nails, the screws, the little holders that the screws go in, as you'll see later on. It had all of the vents that you could put in and just anything you needed, all the little tools, had everything there. There were multiple bags of screws and caps and like the vents, and each little bag came with its own little tool, so if you accidentally threw one away or lost one, it was fine. We have like 5 of those little Allen wrenches now, so that was really nice, knowing that had I lost something there would have been more. And then they included extra of all of the screws as well as the little caps that go on the end of the enclosure, which again you'll see later on. And then they also included extra of the little the vent centers in case you lost one of those, so that was really nice as well. In the directions, it tells you to lay out all of the pieces according to their size and type of piece it is, just so you can, you know, take inventory. It comes with an inventory list telling you how much you should have of each piece and where each piece will go in the enclosure and how many pieces you'll use for each little box. So like this enclosure in the middle right here was one box that you built on its own, and then you stacked it on top of this box, which you stacked on top of the bottom enclosure, which then you stacked this box on top of this one. And the fact that you built it in individual boxes instead of one giant enclosure, I really enjoyed. I found it a lot easier than I feel like building an entire enclosure and then just standing the whole thing up would have been. My husband and I did have some issues reading the instructions at first, but that was just because we both worked like 8.5 hours that day, and I was just so excited. I was like, we're gonna do the whole enclosure tonight. That did not happen. It probably would have happened were we more awake, but once we woke up and looked at it all again the next day and just kind of sat down and looked at the instructions, they're really simple to read. We were just too tired to try and decipher them on our lack of sleep, lack of food, lack of coffee brains. So it's really simple to put together, and the instructions go through it all with you. The instructions also say that there are different, obviously there are different size enclosures, and they require different amounts of people to build those enclosures. So an enclosure like this size did require 2 people, whereas I feel like if it were an enclosure with the 2-foot enclosures and 2-foot hoods and stuff like that stacked on top of each other, it would be a lot easier to do with one person instead of having one person try to put a 4-foot wide or 4-foot long on top of another 4-foot long, and so on and so forth. So it did take 2 people, which made it a lot easier. I feel like had I tried to do it on my own, I just wouldn't have been able to lift it. But I really do like how they included that in there to ensure that there's no damage to you or to your enclosure. So I really appreciated that in the instructions. And just the overall simplicity of the instructions was really nice. But like I said, we were so tired the first night, my brain could not decipher the pictures. And yes, there were very clear pictures that told you how to do it. So it took us an extra day just because we were too tired to read it. But it was really, really simple, and I really liked how it was explained and all laid out for you. So once we had everything laid out and kind of assessed the situation and looked at it and started building, it was really, like I said, really simple and really fast. As I also said earlier, you do it by box. So in this picture here, you'll see we had the large bottom enclosure. We did that one first and just kind of laid it on the ground. I also did the 2 small, well, I did one of the smaller enclosures, and my husband did one of the smaller enclosures as well, just so we got that out of the way. Those ones are up here, which you'll see in a photo here, how it actually looks all the way. I probably am going to insert more photos as I'm talking about it later on throughout the video. But as you see, we built it in boxes and then it was stacked from there on out. I will include a video clip really quick here to show you how they got stacked onto one another. There are little connecting pins between each of the corners. There are 4 connecting pins on top of each box, and you just kind of slide one box onto the other and then it sits there in place. The enclosure is very sturdy, doesn't move. Well, it moves because of the wheels on the bottom, but I mean, it doesn't like move off of each other. Everything is held into place very nicely, and I definitely think it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful thing whenever I have to get back there and add more wires or take away some wires from lighting and things like that. Going more into depth with the whole enclosure and hood thing. So these right here are the enclosures. I still have the covering over them just because I am putting something in this enclosure and we are working on this enclosure, and I do want to use the enclosure as my background because it's absolutely beautiful and wonderful. I just don't want to show you guys what I'm working on yet. So they do have this paper covering that kept them from becoming scratched, and I really appreciated that. And the paper covering comes off really simple. You can just peel it. Anyway, so as I was saying, these are the enclosures. This is where the animals will go, and this is where everything is kept. All the animals and stuff are kept. These are the hoods. Up here is where all of the lighting and the different heating elements and things like that go. There is a hole in the back of this area up here in the hoods, and I'll show an image or a little video clip of this over this part as well. But there is a little hole in the back where all the wires can go, and you can make sure that you are giving the adequate heat and light to your reptile. On top here, there is an aluminum wired top, and that part is where it goes down into the enclosure, so you also get pretty good ventilation through that, as well as the vents in the back of the wall of the enclosure. Now that we kind of went over the building and the stacking and what each little compartment is and things like that, I'm going to go into the customizations I got. So in the link down below, you will see that this panel right here for the hoods are more of a wooden, dark wood looking panel. I decided to change it to a black granite just because this is more my style and I feel like it goes with everything. Black is a very safe color and it does not get outdated. It just stays very sleek and not natural, but very sleek and elegant looking in my opinion. So I changed the panels from the wood to the black granite, and then I also changed the panels of the inside of the enclosure. So they have thermofused and then they have aluminum laminate. I got an aluminum laminate panel for each of the enclosures. All the panels that are not the plexiglass or the front glass up here, they were aluminum laminate, and I just did that because it is better suited for higher humidity levels. Even though the bottom 2 enclosures are not going to be housing animals with high humidity levels, just in case there's a spill or something and the water gets down into it. And then for the top 2 enclosures, they are going to be higher humidity animals. Just to ensure that there's no warping or damage done to the panels themselves, I decided to go with aluminum. The thermofused is a little bit like a countertop, one of the laminate countertops you would get. They have the kind of cork inside of them, and I just feel like, and also the people I was working with at Custom Cages feel like that would not be the best choice for a higher humidity animal. And like I said, for the lower 2 panels, I honestly just, if one of the reptiles spilled their water dish or something, did not want any damage to the enclosure. So we went with aluminum laminate. It was a little bit more, but it's definitely worth it. And then also the aluminum laminate is a little bit stronger and sturdier up to animals that may be digging some in the enclosure. Obviously, the one I'm going to get for here is going to be digging a bit more, so I wanted to ensure that they couldn't damage the bottom of the enclosure. So yes, I got aluminum laminate, and then I also changed these, as I said, once again, to the black granite. And then if you looked at the enclosure picture, which I'll insert here again, it was supposed to be 3 4-foot long by 2 feet deep by 18-inch high enclosures, and I did 2 4-foot long by 18-inch high by 2 foot deep, and then the top 2 enclosures are 2 foot long by 2 foot deep for both of them. So instead of having 3 really large enclosures, I have 2 really large enclosures and then 2 smaller enclosures up top, making 4 enclosures total versus the 3 that was originally in the layout of the one linked in the description box. So that is what I customized on this one. Of course, there are a lot more customizations you can get through their website and through talking to one of their representatives and just trying to figure out what works best for you and your reptiles that you're planning on getting. But they definitely were really helpful about talking to me about the different type of panels and everything that I could get for this enclosure. It was really nice to have someone explain it to me and kind of walk me through the whole process. So they were really, really great with the customizations. Okay guys, so you made it to the end of today's video. As you can see, Custom Cages helped me so much with explaining everything to me, with their amazing shipping and packaging, and just helping me get this enclosure and making it be everything I wanted it to be. I am so excited to show you guys what I'm going to do with it and everything I'm going to be putting into it and all the work I'm going to put into it. As I told you, I still have the coverings on because I am currently working on this middle enclosure here. My husband and I have a reptile picked out and we're just getting everything set up for it, and I cannot wait to show you guys. I'm really, really excited, and once again, this would not have been possible, or being able to achieve this dream of getting this reptile and providing the best enclosure that I can would not have been possible without a company as amazing as Custom Cages. They are truly great. I love them so much, and as you guys have seen through, again, my previous videos with their products, they do an amazing job every single time, and I have never been let down by them, and I recommend them to everyone. So thank you guys for watching and coming along with me on everything about this enclosure and seeing the pictures of us building it and the different things you can get done to it. They're just amazing enclosures, and once again, so thankful for this. So I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys enjoyed today's videos, and please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and also go check out Custom Cages. Like I said, they're linked in the description box below. You will not be disappointed, and they will provide great quality products for you and your pets. So hope you guys enjoyed, and can't wait to see you next time. Bye!